morning and welcome to Mornings with Luann and Tim. I'm Tim and that's Luann.
Yes, it is.
This is a very, very sick Luann. You're a brave woman. I don't think I would have come in today.
Well, you know what? It's just, you got to do what you got to do, right? What were you going to do without me? Look at you. You're just saying nice things about me being brave because you don't want me to sit beside you.
She's going to go home right after this show, and she's going to rest.
I'm going to rest.
It's hard, isn't it, when you can't be, you really cannot be replaced.
Oh,
what's that feel like?
I don't know. What does it feel like?
I don't know. You could bring in a trained ape to replace me, Luann.
Not even trained that well either.
Now, remember when you were in school? This is how we're going to start our day off. Oh, see, my
sorry.
Remember when you were in school and that you would have to draw yourself and your family and stuff, and art classes and things? Every day I always go online and see if there's any specialty days of the year, just for fun, to see what's going on. So it turns out today is. It's hard to even just say what this is. It's Draw Your Own Head Day, ladies and gentlemen. So we're encouraging.
He says this to me the first thing this morning.
I said, Luann, it's Draw Your Own Head Day. She's like, what? I said, you know, it says draw your own head, and you can put a little hat in your head, and you can use clay or sculpture or paint or draw. So Luann and I decided that we would participate in Draw Your Own Head Day.
Okay, so this is what I drew.
Now, Garrett, can you really get that shot? Because Luann gave herself a neck like the lady who put rings around her neck to elongate her neck. You look like Luann the giraffe.
I said to Tim, how do I draw 5 chins?
But your eyes are very pretty. Now, I drew my own head as well.
Tim
so
really worked at it
I did a little better than Luann. And I also went a little larger. So that's my own head.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense that you would have a picture of yourself, Tim. That's
courtesy of Brian Tremblay.
This is lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
See, I'm much nicer
you really
personality.
don't need me to come into work. You can go to Brian Tremblay, and I could just leave. And
oh, you're going to spill coffee.
I'm not going to do anything. Okay, so. Yesterday,
I had a little stick figure with a giraffe neck, and he brings in this whole professional Kamasaba thing.
I love when she says that. I love when she speaks French. It's kind of like when Morticia Addams spoke French around Gomez. Remember the Addams Family?
I do. I do.
I would kiss up your arm, but you sneeze in your sleeve, so I'm not going to go there.
I only sneeze in my sleeve.
You only sneeze around when, Luann?
No, I only sneeze in my sleeve because you told me that that's what you have to do.
You're supposed to cough and sneeze into your sleeve.
I understand that. I know that's the new rule. But when you sneeze into your hand, you carry some of that alcohol stuff, and you will get
Luann always carries alcohol stuff with her.
Yes. And you know what?
You can often see her at a red light pumping it into her mouth.
Yes. Because
no, she doesn't drink.
You hork. Sorry.
Did you just say?
You cough or sneeze into your sleeve, so you spend the rest of your day coughing and sneezing into the same sleeve. Now you're walking around with stuff hanging off your sleeve.
Germs don't live on fabric.
What?
Germs don't live on fabric.
Oh, that's the key.
And it's not transferable. How many people shake your arm? Stop it!
I'll rub all over you then.
I said germs
so
don't live on fabric. I don't even know if that's true.
See, look at you. You're so bad.
But I know that they say put it there because then people don't actually know. How often do people stick their anythings into the crook of your arm? I don't even want to talk to you anymore right now. Listen.
Stick their anythings? I don't have anythings to stick in the crook of your arm.
Yes, I'm changing the subject immediately.
Why are you all red? It's kind of funny to see you all blushy like that.
Yesterday I was driving behind a Ford F-150.
Yes.
Okay, you've seen the ads for the Ford trucks? I mean, I know Dodge trucks are Ram tough and Ford trucks are, I don't know, but anyway, trucks are tough.
Right.
And then, you see the ads for trucks and they go over mountains and they go through snow and they go through water and they go over bumps. So why, when you're driving the Ford F-150, must you slow down to 3 kilometers an hour to go over a set of railroad tracks? Smarten up! It's a truck. You're 3 feet in the air, you have suspension. You can go on, what do they go, back roading, whatever they call that, in a truck.
Four-wheeler.
But you hear it the same way. You gotta slow down 3 kilometers over the railroad tracks at Carmen's Way. I know they're bumpy, but it's a truck. I'm spitting all over the place. Thank God I'm not sick.
And then you have, physically, then you have the guy who you pass on the railroad tracks because you're so frustrated with him, and he's a big biker dude with tattoos all over himself and brass knuckles, and he's like,
I don't want to bump my truck. Oh, my Ford F-150. Oh, gotta be gentle with my big truck.
Are you okay?
I think I'm all right.
Okay, what else is going on?
You know what?
No.
Gwyneth Paltrow has a company called Goop. So she's
What is that about?
She's very into natural
She is. That's why she called her daughter Apple.
Right. She actually has products that help you to rejuvenate your vajayjay. Yes. If you don't want to go for a lift, you can go to Goop and just pick things up, as it were. Well, anyway, that's one of the products.
Does anybody, you know what? Joan Rivers used to talk about that. Joan Rivers used to talk about the fact that people don't talk about, the women, mothers don't warn you that when you get to a certain age, vaginas drop. I'm sorry I said it over breakfast hour, but it's true. And apparently it happens.
Well, just like men's apparatus.
Listen to me.
Sags and bags.
Middle of the night I run to the toilet and I get sparks on the carpet. I hate those automatic. I hate those automatic toilets because sometimes you're just not ready and it flushes like, no, I didn't have my things up yet, and it almost took them. My testicles are all the way down the St. Mary's River.
So maybe Gwyneth can help.
Is somebody out there laughing right now?
Maybe Gwyneth can help because
I'm allowed to talk about
she
this
can
stuff?
help with the
It's a morning show.
But she now is going into clothing. And she has 5 different
clothing?
Goop clothing. She has 5 different styles that she's launching, and to be inclusive, because she wants everybody to be included in her Goop. She is going to make the sizes from 0 to 40. Isn't that awesome? Because she's like this big.
Size 40 Goop? That's a lot of Goop.
That's yeah. You'd have to buy a couple of jars of the other to fit that into the... Anyway, good luck, Gwyneth.
Good luck.
I think that you need the money, so I hope it works out well for you.
Did you know that it's possible for the back wall of your vagina to collapse?
Yes.
And when it goes, it takes your rectum with it.
Yes, actually, I did know that.
And then you have to get reconstructed.
And then the uterus can fall forward.
Look at Garrett, the cameraman. This can actually happen. This happens to women. The back wall of the vagina, and because it's attached, it takes the...
In my first pregnancy, I was about 2 months along, and he gave me exercises I had to do because my uterus was tilted back, and do this. He said, because this is your back.
Am I holding your uterus right now?
Yeah, this is your back. So he says, your baby's in here, and as the baby grows, it comes like this.
You end up with a cashew as a child.
Right, but your baby can get hooked because you're too far down. So I had to do exercises. So tilted uterus. Yeah.
Wow. Can I put this down now?
Yeah, you can put that down.
Thank you. I didn't want to drop your uterus on the floor.
No, it's been there too.
That happened to my mother. Did I tell you that story?
No.
When she was gardening?
No.
Good morning. She was gardening. And she called me and she said, I was gardening the other day and something didn't feel right, and I discovered that my uterus had dropped. I said, what? She said, I almost planted it. I said, well, what would happen if you planted your uterus? She said, in the spring you would have had a baby brother.
Boom. Out of a cabbage patch.
Yeah, like a tulip.
Really? She felt it.
She had to have everything redone, that poor woman. And here's the story. My mom yesterday, my mom was in the nursing home and she has dementia, and yesterday for the first time she didn't believe I was me. It was, here's Tim, and she said, that's not Tim.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Now, you know what? I'm so I don't find that difficult. I guess because my mother's been living with dementia now for 2 years. Over 2 years, and I knew this was coming. I mean, it's eventually. My mother is.
But you can know it in your head.
She's extremely healthy, so I knew that my mother's. I know she's going to live for a long time. Like her body is strong as can be, but her brain obviously is not. So, for me, it was just like it was going to happen. It helps though that we were prepared because the Alzheimer's Society offers these great classes and counseling, and there's groups and stuff. My sister goes to the groups. I only went to the original training stuff, but they teach you about what to expect. And there's also a great story about an older gentleman who would go visit his wife who had dementia in the nursing home and spend just all day with her, sitting, holding her hand, and even though she didn't know who he was and she couldn't communicate anymore, and someone said to him, she doesn't even know you're here, why do you still come? He said, she may not, maybe she's not, she doesn't...
Maybe she's not the same woman.
Yeah, she may not be the same woman, but I'm the same man.
Good for him.
So,
right?
Yeah, and you know what they also
that's what it is.
They also teach you is that you're creating new memories. I have all my memories with my mother. They're intact. Okay, and I know that we had a wonderful life, right? And now we're creating new memories. So,
I just love that.
Yeah.
That is such a good, strong, healthy. And I'm sorry that you have to go through those things, and lots of people do.
Oh.
And it's so important to be prepared as well as you can be. I don't know what I would do.
Well, it's Wellness Wednesday. You have to stay mentally well, and you have to treat yourself. Just educate yourself.
She's okay.
She is safe.
You know what?
She's well looked after.
Care of. Yes. She's healthy.
She's as happy as she can be. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's
good. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I think it's
Hang
better.
in there, Dot.
I think I would rather be my mother living with dementia in a nursing home than somebody who's had to go there, who has their full faculties but whose body has given out.
That's tough.
Because you
I watched my dad go through that, and it's hard because
the body gives out, but the brain still goes.
Yeah, that's tough because the personality.
Basically, what we're saying is old age is a bitch. My sister
just put some goop on it.
I always said, put some goop on it. Good for you.
Right?
I love it. That's a great segue.
Put some goop on there. Yeah. So what's happening for Wellness Wednesday today?
Oh, okay. So there's a wellness store. It's called The Wellness Store. Oh. My friend Karen Heptich co-owns it with her husband, local entrepreneurs. They've now moved to a new location and a newer location. And Karen's going to be on the show talking about sort of naturalistic, holistic medicine and the stuff that they carry in the store. And then my friend Cara Russin's going to come on and talk about yoga and healing and all of that great stuff as well.
Terrific. Lots to do this morning. Please stay with us on Mornings
with Luann and Tim.
I was sharing.
The 2000.
Welcome to Wellness Wednesday again, and this is my friend Karen Heptich. Hello, Karen.
Hi, Tim.
Karen Heptich is one of the owners. You and your husband own the Wellness Store. But Karen, you and I we go back years. Many years. We originally met through community theater.
Yes.
And I think you went to school with my sister, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You did so.
Yeah.
So anyway, Karen and her husband, how long has the Wellness Store been in existence in Sault Ste. Marie?
13 years now.
That long?
Yeah.
You were in the mall originally.
Originally, we were in the mall for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
We've been on Second Line, corner of Second Line and Garden River Road for 3 years now.
Is that relative? You moved in, you were the first tenant in that new strip mall, weren't you? You and Aurora's Hilltop. Yeah. Excellent. So now, your background is nursing.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. How did you transition from going from being a nurse in Kitchener to owning a wellness store in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario?
Well, I was a nurse for many years. I won't say how many.
That's okay.
And I always had an interest in natural medicine.
You did?
Always did a lot of reading on it and trying different things, and knew that there was always another way and there was a natural way to do things. And I just had an interest. And then when we left
Kitchener... What about your husband? Was it Larry?
Yes.
Was Larry same thing, or was he more the entrepreneurial spirit?
Pretty much. But he did have an interest, but he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So when we came here, we came home again, and the interest just led to opening the store.
Really? You did some retail out in Batchewana.
We had a store in Batchewana called Heptich Highway Market.
Yeah.
And I always had a little department of health there, that's what we called it.
Right.
Where I had a few natural things, and we sold them. And when we left the store, we sold the store.
Yeah.
We decided then maybe we should do this full time.
Full time.
So we opened our own store.
And you have a lot of square footage.
Yeah, it's a big store.
It's a big store.
Yeah.
So tell me, when people come into your store, you must get all kinds of questions. People must just be full of questions.
Yes.
What do you think are some of the main reasons people come to the wellness store?
Main reasons?
Yeah.
Okay. The top thing is energy.
Ah.
I have no energy. What do you have for energy?
Really?
Yeah. I think that would be about the top thing.
Interesting.
A lot of...
What do you have for energy? now that you brought it up.
Well, we have ginseng, which is obviously pure energy and also keeps your immune system built up. We have good B complexes. B complexes are great for energy.
Yeah.
Greens. We have vital greens and progressive greens.
Do you have those greens that you can go and make a drink out of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have that stuff? Wow. Is it powder or what is it?
There's powder. A lot of people like the liquid that you only take a tablespoon teaspoonful once a day and it's done.
It's done, yeah.
So either way, it works. It gives you a lot of energy. It's amazing.
I'm going to tell you a story about vitamins. My mother, now, my mother's, I think, 87 now, but when my mother got a new physician in her 80s, because, you know, it's so hard with doctors, they retire. If you live a long life, you could go through a couple of doctors because they retire. So she got a brand new doctor, and when she went in for her checkup, for her original sort of consult, and she told the doctor that she took no medications in her 80s, nothing. And the doctor couldn't believe it. She said, but all of your levels, like everything, is exactly your textbook healthy. For your age, it's incredible. What's your secret? And my mother said, I've taken the same vitamins every day since I was, I think started about 32, but by 40 for sure, she had her regimen. And she had her morning thing with all the different vitamins, and that's all she took, Karen, and the doctor said her health was impeccable. Now, this is what vitamins can do for us.
Absolutely. There's so many things. Just maintenance, just to keep you in good health. Like omega-3, for example. I believe your pregnant mother should be taking omega-3 before you're born, and you should be taking it till the day you die. Omega-3 is for your heart.
Yes.
Keeps your heart healthy, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, that kind of thing. For young children, it develops their brain, their thinking, their learning abilities. It keeps circulation to the brain. As you get older, you start to lose a little memory here and there. And omega-3 is good for that. So as we get older, we still need the omega-3 for learning again. It keeps your skin nice.
Does it? What's that ginkgo stuff for memory too?
Well, that's for memory.
Ginkgo biloba?
The ginkgo biloba.
Yeah. I knew something. Ginkgo biloba. No, because I'd heard about the whatever is in there. That's what's interesting, is that what can affect our brain. I mean, how these natural remedies can actually help us with all these different. What about stuff like you talked about skin? Do you sell any kind of products that are for you know?
We have natural
beauty products.
Skin products of all kinds. Natural shampoos, deodorants, toothpaste, things that don't have the kind of chemicals that are under question now about possibly cancer causing. They don't have those kinds of things in them. They're natural. So people are more comfortable using them, and they work well.
What about, do you have a number of clients that are either a vegetarian or vegan, that kind of? Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And people who are on for weight loss, that kind of stuff. And what about working out? You get a lot of bodybuilders, because I know I used to take those things. Wow, I don't even creatine and stuff. Do you sell that kind of stuff?
Yeah. We sell pre-workout things to help with energy for the workout. We sell branched chain amino acids for helping to get the muscles built up. We have protein powders that you can take after your workout.
Now, what if somebody were to come into you, we were talking about this before, for mental health, for staying positive, for fighting depression or anxiety. There must be natural remedies for those kinds of afflictions as well, yes?
Yes, absolutely. There are all kinds of things. There's also, I mean, certainly the pharmaceuticals have all kinds of things for anxiety and whatnot. But there tends to be some side effects and whatnot. I would never tell anybody to go off those kinds of meds. But if you wanted to start naturally before you tried anything else, we have a lot of things that help with anxiety, with mood, depression.
And this time of year, with seasonal affective disorder and stuff, and people needing, I guess vitamin D too is you want to supplement for vitamin D, and when you get to these dark days of the year, right? Talking about side effects, interesting thing that you shared with me, and you brought a chart in, and we'll put it up on the screen. People, you said, sometimes might be concerned that they've heard that there are side effects of taking natural medication. And here's the charts up now. If you look at that screen, Karen, the audience is seeing this right now. That great big area on the left.
That circle on the left-hand side.
That's what we're talking about.
The left-hand side of that, the largest section,
which is
pharmaceuticals. So that's all of the drugs that you get from a drugstore.
And those are side effects caught in 1 year.
Yeah, Health Canada put this out. They put it out every year. This is for 2017. For the entire year, all side effects, adverse reactions reported
to Health Canada.
To Health Canada for the entire year.
And the large portion is how much percentage?
69%, I think, is 59, I'm sorry. 59% is pharmaceuticals. The other side, the big white side of that same circle, there are things like blood reactions and that kind of
allergens and that kind of stuff. Right.
You see the dark, thin little slice there?
The dark slice,
Little tiny slice? That's 0.9% of the reports were natural medicine, and that's less than 1%.
Less than 1% of
all reported.
Of all reported reactions.
Right.
Are
natural medicine.
So
yeah. There are still reactions. I mean, you can get a reaction like from a slice of bread if your body decides to do that.
Absolutely.
There's no getting around it, but you're less likely, far less likely to get a side effect from a natural product than from a pharmaceutical. So it's a good place to start to help yourself.
And you also said, you were very, very frank with me when we spoke before, saying, you know, I'm not going to tell someone not to go and see a doctor.
Exactly.
Right? So can you explain what you mean by that? That you're here. Okay, go ahead.
I'm a registered nurse.
Right.
Okay, that's where I started my career. And I have a great interest in natural medicine. Neither way is the be-all and the end-all. Both have their places.
Right.
If you were in a car accident, for example, you wouldn't want your in a coma being taken to the naturopath's office, you'd want to go to the hospital.
I would.
There's a middle road, I guess, is the easy way to put it. And I guess I'm an example of the middle road.
Right.
There's a place for each type. And there's a good place for prevention and helping yourself in natural medicine. And that's where I think a lot of people should come to take a look at that.
Prevention is, and Karen, you just, I think, nailed it on the head, is it is about prevention. It's about taking care of yourself to prevent anything from happening.
Exactly.
And that's the whole philosophy of like public health and stuff. It's like, it's taking the steps to stay healthy so you don't get sick.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's a beautiful picture of your store right behind us. I'm sure you've all seen this store, so you need to stop in and visit my friend Karen if you have any questions. Now, obviously, 13 years in the business, a nurse for years. You know what you're talking about. Your clients are happy, obviously. You have a lot of return business.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't survived 13 years with people not coming back for more.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So, here we are on Wellness Wednesday. I recommend that my friends stop in and all my viewers stop in and visit Karen Heptich. And does Larry come into the store?
Oh, yes.
Does he?
Yeah.
You know what? I got to come and see him because I don't think I've really met Larry.
Probably a couple of times, but not for a lengthy period.
Well, I'm going to come in and I think it's time for me to have some ginkgo biloba myself there because I'm not. It's getting to be that age, Karen.
I know.
I want to thank you for stopping by. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I have enjoyed myself.
It wasn't like going to the dentist, was
No,
it?
I thought it would, but we're okay.
We're okay. All right, so come back on the show anytime. If you've got anything you want to promote or stuff that you got going on, fun activities, let us know.
Great, thank you.
Meanwhile, there she is, Karen Heptich, The Wellness Store. And we'll be back with more on Morning with Luann and Tim right after this. Welcome back. Welcome back. Remember that Welcome Back, Cotter?
I do.
Did you watch soap operas?
I did.
Did you
Days
know
of Our Lives.
I think that's one of them.
Was it?
No, As the World Turns and Edge of Night. Can you imagine this in 1975? As the World Turns and the Edge of Night. Up until 1975, they were still doing live broadcasts. Those soap operas they were the last. They were the last ones to cut and going to tape. They didn't want to do it. They wanted to resist. And finally, in 1975, they aired their last live broadcast and went to tape.
Goodness.
Can you imagine having to learn all those lines and say them on live television and all the things that could go wrong?
Talk about always working. Because even after you shoot for the 16-hour day that you shoot, then you got to go home and
or learn your lines.
Learn your lines.
The lines. And then what happens if you have a particularly heavy episode coming up, you know? Like when does the writing come in? They wrote those things as they went. Wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
That'd be like us. Well, we're live.
Yeah, we are?
And no one writes for us. You can tell.
Yeah, boy, can you tell. Have you seen the intro? Judge Judy.
Tell us.
Tops Forbes list of highest paid TV hosts.
I had no idea.
For 2018.
Highest paid TV host, Judge frickin' Judy.
So this year,
how much does she get?
Judge Judy made $147 million.
I don't understand.
I could make that much money for being cranky.
I don't understand.
Yeah, apparently Jim said that she's not even a judge. She's like a mediator or something like that.
She's,
you know what?
I think
Work it, girl.
Or is she a justice of the peace?
I don't know.
She may just be a do they have those in the States? I don't know.
I don't know.
Isn't
that crazy?
That's like a professional athlete.
Yeah. So she makes 147. The next one on the list is Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres.
At 87.5 million.
Million a year.
And remember when she announced that she was gay and she was afraid that her career would never come back again? And Dr. Phil makes $77.5 million thanks to Oprah.
What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong?
Oh gosh, how much time do you have?
Luann, it's not and so they're making more than the nighttime host. They're making more than the guys that are like, I don't even know who's, because I don't watch, because I don't stay up anymore. Who's on late night TV?
Jimmy Fallon.
Right, him.
Yeah.
Seth Meyers, is he? No, who's he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they make more than them.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. But who has more fun? Judge Judy, honestly, you could not pay me enough money to go stand in front of that woman. I watch it every once in a while. I walk in and Jim's kind of sneaking, looking at it, and I just sit and watch, and I'm like, how can she be that rude? Like, what is the purpose of her being so flippin' rude? She's just mean-hearted. Wow. And she gets $147 million for it. Man, I don't understand.
I get paid peanuts and I'm nice. Just goes to show you. Hey.
News is coming up next.
Do you talk at all about the runoff election in Mississippi? Because that depressed the heck out of me yesterday. Cindy Hyde-Smith, the lady who said she'd sit in the front row of a lynching to support her, won 55%.
You know what? When I read it, I thought, they did it again.
It's the smallest margin, though, that they've ever won by in Mississippi, the Republicans.
She still won.
She still won.
Yeah, exactly,
and I don't understand what's wrong with you. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Stop it right now. Be nice, America.
It's coming up in news.
After this.
Stay tuned. And welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. And because it's Wellness Wednesday, I have a piece of advice for you.
What is it?
In life, it's important to know when to stop arguing with people and simply let them be wrong. Tim?
I'm a debater.
Yes, you are.
My father's son that way.
I'm very much a debater as well.
Yeah, I know. I have a hard time with people who don't see things my way. You need to understand my point of view and where I'm coming from.
See, I don't have that much confidence in myself. I like to debate, but I never tell somebody, you need to think the way I think, because I don't know if I'm thinking it properly. I just know what I feel, and I know what I know, you know?
I know. I have a
You don't, though.
I have a temper, too.
Yeah, I saw that. Anyway, saw that a couple of times.
It's Red Planet Day. Remember that we were talking yesterday about why are we on Mars? Why are we spending so much money on space programs when people are starving on Earth?
To drill a planet that nobody's living on.
Right.
Who cares?
Just so happens that today is Red Planet Day, and it commemorates the launch of the spacecraft Mariner 4.
NASA
on November
knew that.
28th, 1964. People, we've been sending spaceships to Mars since 1964. We finally got back, and it took them until July of 1965 to actually get 6,118 miles away. So now we've landed there. How many years later? 64. Well, that's 2 years later. 53 years later. 54 years later.
Yes. And you know what?
And what have we learned?
They're up there now.
What have we learned?
And they're drilling to the core or into the planet to discover and determine how the planet was created in the same universe as the Earth and how it is so different from the Earth. Who cares? Nobody lives there. Nobody is, I don't know, dying of starvation. There isn't any flooding there. There's no forest fires that are killing people there. Why do we care? How about we take care of
where we are,
the planet Earth?
The money that since 1964, I would love to know the running total of how much money we've spent sending stuff to Mars.
Really? And not to mention that, now there's space junk apparently that is ridiculous.
Floating out there, you mean?
Yeah, stuff, bolts, nuts and bolts from, you know, people just go, nah, I don't need this anymore. And like everything's just floating around out there.
Space is huge, unlike the oceans, which Donald Trump says are small.
Yeah, small little
71% of the Earth is water, but Donald Trump says oceans are small. His brain is small.
You know what? If you're a Dog the Bounty Hunter fan, some sad news. His wife, Beth, she's such a character. Oh my gosh, she's just lovely. Unfortunately, she has throat cancer again.
Oh no.
Yeah, poor thing.
Oh dear.
They are so close.
Again? She's had throat cancer before?
Yeah, and they're on the show, of course, together, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Listen, there's a guy that, this is a terrible story. I'm sorry, this is terrible, but I read this on CBC. A trapper and his wife and their daughter, they all moved to the Yukon. Her name is Valerie Terre. She's 37 years old. So her husband was out checking the lines, and she and her 10-month-old daughter went for a walk. And when he came back that afternoon, he found he was lunged by a grizzly bear, which he had to shoot and kill. And then he found his daughter and wife. They didn't get into the cabin. The grizzly bear had...
No.
He had killed the wife and daughter, and then...
and then the dad had to kill the bear? Oh my gosh.
Isn't that sad?
Oh my word.
So you know what? Take care of each other. Love them. Take care. Life is so fragile.
It really is.
You know, Luann?
What a, not a fluke.
Go home and rest. Don't be sick anymore, honey.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get over myself.
You know what? Cara Russin, there was a misunderstanding. This happens sometimes, but she's a friend of mine, and I was just booking her on the show, and I was a little too casual about it, and I don't think Cara really knew that this was a done deal. So we're going to book Cara back on the show for another Wellness Wednesday to talk about her experiences, and now she's working as a yoga instructor, and she's really living a really healthy life, and we'll talk to Cara later. But we're going to rerun an episode. This is going to save you some money. Check this out. This is on the PUC, and there's a fund that's out there for us all to tap into, no matter what's your income level. So check out this interview from the PUC after this break, and then we'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim after that. Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim, and joining me now is Rob Brewer. Hi, Rob.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm well. Welcome to ONNtv. Thanks for coming in to talk to us. Rob is the new as of January of 2018, the new president and CEO of PUC Services. Now, I was talking a little bit about your background, and kind of interesting. You grew up in Southern Ontario for a while?
I did, yeah. I grew up in Oakville and Kingston.
Yeah.
Went to University at McMaster in Hamilton.
Did you?
And during those years, came up to the north in the summers.
Oh, you spent summers up here?
I did. I used to actually plant trees when I was in university.
My sisters did that too. They went to the different parks and stuff and planted trees and things. Where did you plant?
I was, I was out of both Wawa, so Duberville, I was in Chapleau, I was up in Fort Francis. And
wow. And then, not only did you plant trees in Wawa, you planted some roots in Wawa.
I did.
I'm sorry about the puns. They'll keep coming though. So you went to Wawa originally. Why Wawa?
Well, that's where the business that at the time I was working for was located, and we ended up...
what did that business do?
It was in forestry.
Forestry? Okay.
Yeah, so both the tree planting side and some traditional forestry as well. So
you planted trees for the summers up here, but then you actually ended up moving to Wawa for a full-time position.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you got the idea of actually creating a new division for that company.
Yeah, so what we looked at was the traditional forestry market was struggling, as most people are aware in Northern Ontario. It's been a struggle. So the thought was we should look at more utility forestry, which seemed like a more stable sort of stable revenue stream. So started into that, and it grew like gangbusters since.
And so then you went from cutting trees down around power lines and railroads to actually taking charge of an entire power company.
Yeah, that's right. As of January, I made the transition from being basically owning and operating and contracting business to running the local utility.
Were you already living in Sault Ste. Marie then when you got the position with the PUC?
I've been here since 03.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
You and your wife, and how many kids?
We have 7. Yeah.
I said that's a big family tree. See, I keep doing it. I can't help it. I wonder what your PUC bills are like with 7 children, my gosh. Which is why you're probably really in tune with what people need and want when it comes to cost savings.
Well, I think we're all aware that, when we look at our monthly expenditures, certainly hydro is a big part of it.
It is.
So we've taken a number of initiatives to do what we can, and I say what we can because PUC really controls about 20 or 25% of your bill. The rest of it is a provincial cost.
All provincial costs.
So we've done what we can, and we continue to do what we can to try to manage that 20 or 25% as best as we can. And we're looking for innovative solutions to save both on the provincial portion and on our portion.
And you're also looking at households and businesses. So both sort of industrial, and for just the regular guys like me.
That's right. And both are important, right? Because the more competitive we can make hydro pricing for businesses, the more businesses want to locate in Sault Ste. Marie.
Right.
And that's good for all of us.
That is. So we're going to do a two-parter, you and I, today. We're going to start talking about how we're helping the average household owner in Sault Ste. Marie. Did I say we? I'm partnering now with the PUC. No, some of the initiatives you have going to help out the average homeowner. Okay. And then on our second installment, which we're going to air at a different time, we're going to talk a little bit more about what you're doing for the industrial sector that also will impact local economy and our bank accounts as well as the average Joe. So let's start a little bit about now. We're talking, first of all, what's the name of this? There's a fund you told me about.
So it's called the Affordability Fund Trust.
Affordability Fund Trust, otherwise known as the AFT.
Correct. Yeah. And the provincial government set that up. They funded it with $100 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of money. And we're hoping that we can convince the people of Sault Ste. Marie to apply for it so that as much of that $100 million as possible actually ends up here.
So that's a whole bunch of money that's sitting there waiting for people to access.
It is. And it seems really odd, but this is actually for people who traditionally haven't been able to get government programs. So the people that have normally received subsidies, they'll continue to receive subsidies.
So you're still going to be helping out people who are lower income and seniors.
Yep.
But in addition to that, this program...
Yeah, so the government set aside $100 million for basically the majority of Ontarians to benefit from some efficiency savings. And there's 3 different levels that people can apply for, and it's based on, the more you can afford, the lower the level that you'll apply for, but you generally will get something. It starts out with things like free LED bulbs and free power bars and ways of managing and suggestions on how to manage your home efficiency. The second stage, which we found a lot of people actually do qualify for because it's a fairly generous program, but ends up with free fridges and free stoves and other free appliances.
Come on.
Yeah.
What? How? What do I do? How do I do this? I want it.
It's a matter of simply going, if you go to affordabilityfundtrust.org on the website, you can put an application on the website. Or you can give us affordabilityfundtrust.org, or give us a call at the PUC. We'll walk you through it, and we'll do everything we can to help you.
Okay, Mike, this is a reminder. We want to put that up on the screen because that's important. That trust fund, it's a website. Yeah. Or just kind of get a hold of the PUC. So we talked about level 1 is power bars, light bulbs. Level 2 is appliances.
Yeah, appliances. Level 3. Level 3 is if you've got electric heat, then there's an opportunity for you to have a home assessment, and they will come up with the ways that you can increase efficiency, which including funding things like us putting in insulation or contractors doing insulation, improving some of the structure of the home in order to benefit your efficiencies, things like your HVAC systems. It's a heck of a program, and we believe it or not, I think it's almost too good because most of the response that we get from people is that can't be possible. But we assure you it is.
People are saying, "Oh, I won't qualify for that. I make too much money." And you're saying, "Well, wait a minute. If you're just an average income family, then no, you're okay. You do qualify."
It is for the average family.
And you go to buy a house and you find out that it's got electric heat, and for so many people that's an automatic, because the house may be less expensive, but you know you're looking at these bills, right? But with this program, it's not necessarily going to be the case, because we can't all afford to lift our houses up and put a new foundation down rather than being on a cement pad. We can't all afford to have duct work installed. Maybe there's not enough room for that to happen. So this program actually looks at ways that you can actually deal with that electric heat issue and reduce the bills. Correct.
And it's again, it's free for the majority of Ontarians. So we would encourage people to simply apply. I mean, the premise on it is I think that everybody is struggling with hydro bills in general. Yes. And this is a way for the government through the PUC to help. And what a program!
I got to say something though. I like to give credit where credit is due. My PUC bills at one time were going up in the $200 range. They haven't been that way for I don't even know the last time that my bill was up. My bill has come down at least $60 a month. So I don't know, maybe I'm doing things better, but I also think that there's been some assistance from the finances.
Well, there has. I mean, the government did announce a program where residential bills on the energy cost perspective went down about 25%.
And now we're looking at other efficiencies that can bring those costs
down.
So
we've seen that. We've also seen that I think there's an awareness out there that we can in fact have an impact on those bills by doing things like changing bulbs out with LED bulbs. Yes. I mean, it makes a big impact.
I also only do my laundry and stuff after 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and you know what? As do I. You know, I think we all.
I can't even imagine how much laundry you do at your house with 7 kids.
It's 2 or 3 loads a night. But yeah, it's and believe it or not, that's on my plate these days. So. So that's my wife went back to work recently, and we've got a different dynamic, I guess. So
you know what's kind of neat though? I think for people to understand that you may be a president and CEO of PUC Services, but all in all, you're a father and a husband and a homeowner and a resident just like the rest of us.
And I'm a hockey dad, and I'm a gymnastics dad, and a karate dad, and all the other things that you can imagine. So no, I think at the end of the day, the PUC is a community asset, and the people who work there are part of the community, and that includes everybody from myself to the rest of the management team and down into everyone.
Oh, Rob, I was talking to off camera to you about whenever early morning driving around, seeing some of the PUC crews out in the freezing cold or in the pouring rain doing those work on roadways or lines or whatever, and I just think, better you than me, buddy. Thank you so much, and to all of those workers.
You know, Tim.
And those emergency situations that we have here in the flooding and stuff.
Very recently, we had 2 major windstorms where crews were out evenings, weekends. Some of them worked actually almost 24 hours. It was incredible, the effort that they put in order to try to get people's power back on. And you know, when I first started in January, we were going through. There'd been some cold spells, and we had some water main breaks, which I think was what you're referring to with respect to the water. And I had no idea how involved those were, but I mean, those crews work again through the night, minus 20, minus 30 degrees, water spraying so that they maintain positive flow, so we don't have to have boiled water advisories. They just do an unbelievable job. And you know, I think one of the things that we've committed to try to do is to make sure that people are aware of some of the sacrifices that those folks make. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, well, thanks for being on the show. Now you're going to stick around. We're going to finish this interview, and we're going to tape a second segment that we're going to air on another day.
Sounds good.
And you're not going to want to miss what we have to say about the smart grid and some of the other stuff that's happening in Sault Ste. Marie. Phenomenal projects on the PUC's plate. So stay with us on Mornings with Luann and Tim, and tune in again on Monday to find the rest of the interview with my new friend Rob Brewer. We'll be right back after this. Hard to believe it's already the end of November.
Oh my gosh.
And Christmas is around the corner. I'm getting excited because we're going to start next week taking our cameras out to the Algoma District schools and recording Christmas choirs and some of the talent that's in the schools, elementary and high schools. And we're going to put together a little half-hour show that's going to be airing at different times. Hopefully when you get home from school, you can turn on the TV like we used to in the olden days and watch ourselves singing on TV. And Saturday mornings, you can watch your kids and neighbors all performing.
I remember being so proud.
I know.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to go home and take care of yourself.
Yes, I'm going to go home and have a sleep. So have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the morning.
We'll see you on Thursday.